Hi, welcome back to Summit and Stitch. Either welcome or welcome back. My name is Brittany, and today we are going to be going through 10 patterns that I found on Ravelry that I think would make good last minute or quick gift knits. Wow, I couldn't think of that word. Gift knits or crochets. Now, 2 of these patterns I have made before, so I do have experience with the other 8. I went to Ravelry and just searched free knitting or crochet patterns and toggled the random feature. And I love the random chaos that comes up when you just look through the random patterns on Ravelry. I don't know. I think that might just be me, but I love it. I love seeing all the random stuff that's out there, and I figured I would personally rather just promote 10 random patterns than the same patterns that we see over and over and over again in these kind of videos. So I can't speak for 8 of these, but as I was going through the patterns, I picked things that jumped out at me, things that I would personally make for family members or friends, or for a Christmas party, for that game that everyone loves to play that apparently the name is not agreed upon. So I have to go off on a little tangent right here real quick. I'm from the South. I'm from Tennessee, and we always called the game Dirty Santa. It is where a bunch of people get together, you all bring a gift, and they get opened one at a time. And when you open the gift, you can either keep your gift or you can steal somebody else's gift. And we called it Dirty Santa. Apparently, here in the West, or I don't know where, I mean, I live in Colorado now, and nobody knows what Dirty Santa is. It is White Elephant here, but we always called it Dirty Santa. And I don't know, people are mildly offended and shocked on this side of the country if you use the term Dirty Santa. So I guess we're just really uncivilized down south, but that's what we always called it. So these would also, I think, fit into a Dirty Santa or a White Elephant gift as well. So we're gonna start with one that is super fresh on my brain because it's actually right here and I'm knitting it up right now. These are the DK Weight Vanilla Socks by Crazy Sock Lady Designs. And these were my first pair of socks that I've ever made. So I had a little bit of trouble. However, if you've made socks before, you won't have any trouble with the pattern. And if you haven't made socks before, then just go look up sock construction on YouTube, and I think it will make perfect sense. That's what I did. But these are super quick, super easy, just stockinette socks. So you do have a little bit of ribbing up here, but then other than that, it is just a single color stockinette sock. Now, I know that like gift knitting someone a sock would be could be difficult because, you know, you might not know exactly how large someone's foot is. And this is maybe a little bit more of a personal gift for somebody, you know, somebody that you can be like, hey, what size shoe do you wear? Or steal one of their socks and compare, I don't know. But regardless, these worked up super, super quick. I just have to look up how to do the stitch that finishes them off, and that's the only reason why these are not done. What I will say about this pattern, because I am working it right now, is the recommended needles are 3.25 millimeters, and the gauge is just estimated at approximately 7 stitches per inch. That did not work for me. I had to go up to 3.75 millimeter needles, and I'm using DK Weight yarn like it suggests, but 3.25 did not work for me. So I used 3.75, and I'm actually going to go up to 4 millimeters for the next sock because that one is still a little snug. It works enough to not frog it, but whatever size needle you think you need, I would maybe go up a size or 2, just because the gauge isn't really there for this pattern that much. And Personally, I'd rather have a sock be a little bit too big than a little bit too small. Better to be on the safer side, especially if it's a gift. But like I said, these are in a DK weight yarn, so they work up super fast once you figure out that gauge. So if you're looking to make someone a pair of socks, super easy. On these, you could even do, you know, stripes. You could modify it however you wanted to, if you wanted to make it a little fancier. But for just the base socks, super quick, I can vouch for them. Next one. This one I marked and then looked at it a little bit closer. So this one may or may not be a quick knit. This one you might want to give a little bit more time to. However, I loved the way that it looks. The honeycomb headband by Selah, S-E-L-A-H, I hope I'm saying that right, Yarn Co. And I think that this headband looks so cool. It is done in 2-color broken seed stitch, so I don't know how complicated that is, but the recommended needles are 3.25 and 3.5 millimeters. And I think this would just be a really cute, customizable gift for anyone who loves headbands or head warmers, especially, or ear warmers? Head warmers? I don't know what the technical term for it. It's called a headband, but I would use it more as like an ear warmer for going outside in the winter. But either or. I think it's super cute, and it could really be customizable for, you know, someone for their favorite colors, or using up some stashed yarn, because it looks like it uses 90 to 120 yarns. 120 yarns. Wow, the sun is kicking all of a sudden. 120 yards, so it could even be a nice stash buster project if you have 2 colors that you kind of need to get rid of. So depending on how complicated that seed stitch is, I think it looks super great for a gift. I would absolutely knit one of these up for like my sister or my stepmom. And it is also in a DK yarn weight, so it should knit up a little quicker. Next one is the neck warmer by Paula Herbert. Now, as someone that just made a cowl, and it's actually right there, I kind of just keep all my projects just kind of like here. This is like my knitting corner, so everything just kind of lives right here. But this is a cowl slash neck warmer that is, let's see, knitted? Yes, it is knitted. It is knitted out of a super bulky yarn, so it will knit up really quickly. If you need just a super easy, super quick cowl, I really like the idea of this one. It calls for 90 yards of that super bulky yarn, and this is also absolutely something that I would knit up for a friend or my sister, stepmom, in their favorite color. I think it's cute, and it shouldn't take more than a couple days. So I love it. That is something that I would make, and honestly, I kind of want to make it. Next one. These might be super specific for my family, but the women in my family, and even some of the men, are obsessed with mushrooms. They love mushrooms. If it's got a mushroom on it, they will fight over it. And actually last year for Dirty Santa, someone put together a mushroom basket, like, you know, like a gift basket that had all sorts of little mushroom items in it. And that was the present that everyone fought over that year. Absolutely everyone fought over it. I fought over it. I wanted it. I lost it. I lost it. I had it and I lost it. So these absolutely just melted my heart when I saw them. But these are the cute mushrooms by, oh no, I'm not going to be able to say this name. La Fabrique des Songes. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Remember, I'm uncivilized from Tennessee. I don't know how to say that. Forgive me. But these are just adorable. They are knitted up on fingering weight yarn with a 2.5mm needle. However, I feel like, and maybe it's because I have done a lot of crocheting, that you could easily take and use just like a standard worsted or DK weight yarn with these and just make them a little bit bigger instead of really small. But if you want them to be really small, you can make one of each and like use them as stocking stuffers or just give them as gifts. My family would fight you over them for sure. So these are just absolutely adorable, and they would be great for using up some stash as well. Next one. Now, this pattern is a crochet pattern. So we have our first crochet pattern, and this would be so quick, so easy. It is named Spa. So the pattern is named Spa by Agata Coltaro. I'm sorry, again, I know I butcher everybody's names, I apologize. But the idea that it sparked would be putting together like a spa day slash bath slash shower, you know, just like gift for somebody. So you could do like some bubble bath and a nice soap or some bath bombs, shower gel, something like that. And then you could knit up these little face scrubbies, and it comes, and the pattern has a bag that you put like soap in. I think that would be really cute to combine both a handmade gift and something that you bought and kind of put them into one little like gift box or gift bag or whatever you want to call it. You could even do it for Dirty Santa. And I think it would be just super cute. And I know for a fact, even though I've never made this pattern, that crocheting those little scrubbies up is so quick and so easy. You could knock out 20 of them in an evening, and maybe even more. They're super easy. So you could really give someone a full set. You could even find like a washcloth pattern and also throw that in there and do a little treat yourself spa day gift basket. Next one is the Allison Knit Scrunchie. Now, I have never knitted a scrunchie before, but I love the idea, and these are so stinking cute. I think that they would make such a great little gift. You could also throw them in the spa basket if you wanted to, or they're great stocking stuffers, things along that nature. I would absolutely knit these. There's not a specific yarn suggested, so I don't know if, but you'd probably use like a DK yarn. I'm sure these work up super fast. You can make a whole collection of them, give them away in people's favorite colors, use up some more stash. If you can't tell, I love using up my stash. And these are made on 4mm needles, so they will really work up fast. And one uses anywhere between 25 to 50 yards. So that is just an awesome amount of yarn, because we all have those weird little balls of yarn left over and you're like, what are you gonna do with these? Give it away. And I don't know if I said who did this pattern or not, but it is the Allison Knit Scrunchie by Simply Sycamore. I don't remember saying the designer's name, so I apologize. Next one is actually the other one that I have made before, and we finally have something a little bit more masculine on the list, because it is hard to find masculine gift knits that aren't sweaters or socks. So you could easily knit up the socks from earlier as a more masculine gift, or this one is actually one that I made for my husband, and he hasn't taken it off really since I made it for him. And actually I was hoping that he would leave it here so that I could show it to you guys, but he didn't. He took it to work with him. And this is the My Baker's hat by Emily Russell. This hat, super quick, super easy. It is a wonderful hat. Like I said, my husband loves it so much. I think I made him, I can't remember if I made him size small or medium. in it, but it uses a worsted yarn on 4mm needles, and I'm pretty sure that's the gauge that I kept. I don't think I changed anything on mine. However, it fits his head perfectly. There's no like slouchiness, there's no any weirdness, and the awesome part is that it has this really thick fold up like brim, and you don't even have to, like, if you were gifting it and someone had like a larger head than you thought, they could easily just fold it up like halfway, and then you get an extra like inch or two onto the length of your beanie. So it could be really good for gift knitting if you aren't fully sure what size someone wears. But this is also another one of those that if you wanted to add stripes or rows or anything, you could, because it is just a simple pattern. You do 1x1 ribbing, and then it is stockinette the rest of the way. I think it took me only a couple days to knit it up for him, and it might be one of the best gifts I've ever given him. He is so happy with it. So that is one that I highly, highly recommend, especially for a man, because it is a really nice, more masculine looking beanie. You know, there's no pom-pom, there's no design, like it is just a nice, simple, masculine-esque beanie. All right. Next one that we have is Crochet. It is the Highline Wristlet Keychain. Now for this, I was thinking more of like a stocking stuffer type thing, or maybe for the person that is always losing their keys, has no idea where they are. Maybe having them strapped to their wrist would help. I don't know. I thought it would be a super duper quick crochet. I'm thinking like it is December 24th and you need something in a stocking tomorrow, and Hobby Lobby's open for the little clasp, but it just looks super easy, super nice. Most of us have keys, so I think it would be pretty universal. You know, throw it in a stocking stuffer or in a gift bag, where maybe you just need an extra little thing, whatnot. But I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. I kind of want to make one for myself because it's adorable. So let's see, this uses a worsted yarn and the 4mm crochet hook, and then only 10 to 11 yards of yarn. Once again, stash buster. And then the next one is the basket weave mug cozy. So what I was thinking with this one as well was, you know, a gift for the coffee fanatic in your life. That would be me. I am the coffee fanatic, so anyone can give me a coffee mug, a mug cozy, actual coffee, and I'd be happy. Or, you know, once again, that we'll call it white elephant this time. White elephant gift that has coffee in it. We've done that before. I've seen that at that party where people will get like bags of coffee and then a coffee mug, and you could easily make this little mug cozy to go with it. This pattern is by Amanda Saladin. I think it would take, I mean, an evening to knit up, and then especially if you were giving it as a gift with a coffee mug, you could make sure that it would fit said coffee mug. But it is knitted with a bulky yarn, so it'll knit up super quick, and then on 6.5mm needles, so you'll have this gift very quickly. And it is absolutely something that I would either knit for my family or want knitted for me, because I would love that very much. And the last pattern that I have is for the kiddos. So I chose this one, and it is of course a crochet little plushie. I chose this one because it seems like there are tons of options. So the specific pattern is for the giraffe. So it's a Minikins giraffe by the Premier Yarns design team. And it is for the giraffe, but it seems like they have, let's look, a hippo, a tiger, a zebra, a monkey, an elephant, and a giraffe. So those I think would be so cute for the little kiddos in your life. You know, throw them in a stocking, crochet one of each, put them in a little bag. I chose this one because I couldn't decide out of all of the little crochet plushes which one would be best to include for the kids. But so that's why I chose this one, because you can make any of those animals, it seems like. And I know the kiddos in our family would be stoked on any of those. So that is why I chose that one, because they're just so stinking cute. They are so cute. Like, I would make like 3 of them and put them at the top of like a stocking and have them like sticking out at the top for Christmas morning. I think that would be adorable. So let's see. These are specifically worked with the Premier Yarns Minikins yarn, so I guess it's a very specific yarn. I think you could use anything, but it is a sport weight yarn, so it is a thinner yarn than just your standard like acrylic, but you could easily use a bigger needle and make them even larger instead of real small. Okay, so they are worked on a bee hook, which is teeny tiny. So if I was gonna make these, I think I would absolutely choose a worsted yarn and like a 4mm hook, I think, because it doesn't really matter. Use what you have. I'd rather them be a little bit larger than really small, but the option is there for either or. The finished measurements with a sport yarn are 6 inches tall. So yeah, they're like that big. It is cute, but I think I would make them bigger. However, it's super cute and I love them. Those were 10 patterns that I found on Ravelry that I think would make great, super quick and easy gifts for the people in your life this Christmas, because let's face it, it's already December 9th. It's time. It's crunch time on the gift knits. It's time to get to working if you are a gift knitter. If you're a gift knitter, congratulations. I am personally not. I am personally more of a knit and gift when it feels right, but I am more of a knit for me and my husband type gal. And then if I come across a pattern that neither one of us can use, but I still really want to make it, I'll make it for others. But for the most part, I'm usually making things for us. So I don't actually have any gift knits planned. I might actually make a couple of these to kind of give to my family, since I did like them and I did actually think of my family while I was looking through all of these. However, my family lives in Tennessee and we're not going to be out there for Christmas, so I don't have to have any gift knits done by December 25th. All right. So moving on to the end, I thought that I would put all of my random things that I want to talk about as well at the end of the podcast instead of at the beginning, so that people can tune out when they want to and not have to listen to all the personal details about my life and what I'm up to and my knits and things like that. So I'm trying to think from updates from last week's video. As you saw, I am pretty much done with sock number 1. I told the story of why I had to frog my first sock last week, and then this is number 2, and it is going to be finished today, and then I'll start on the second one. And I'm really excited about that. That's really been all that I've been working on. I know I talked about my lovely expensive cashmere yarn that is completely lost to USPS. It's still lost to USPS. They have no idea where it is. It hasn't been scanned for like 10 days at this point. And there's literally nothing I can do but just hope that whatever back alleyway that it fell in, someone finds it and scans it. So I don't know. I don't know at what point I reach out to USPS and have them figure out where it is. Or if I reach out to the company. I really don't want to reach out to the seller though, because it's not the seller's fault. Like, it's not the seller's fault that USPS lost my stuff, because I have been a seller before. You know, when USPS loses your stuff, it's not on the seller's fault. I have been through many holiday seasons selling on Etsy and my own website and stuff of that nature. So for backstory, I am a candle maker. So I've had a couple of candle businesses, and the holidays were always the most stressful because it's broken items and lost items. So I've been on the other side of this issue before as the seller, and it really sucks when your customers are like, where is my item? Where is my package? Why is my stuff not here? And you're like, I can't do anything but pull up the same tracking number that you can. So I don't want to reach out to them. Though it just sucks. It sucks. I spent almost $70 on yarn for the first time in my life. I have never bought nice yarn before. And the first time I buy nice yarn, it is so lost. And it sucks. It sucks. So I don't know what to do about that. If anybody has had any luck or has ever had a yarn package lost before like this, let me know what you did, because I don't know what to do. Because being on the buyer end of this sucks, but also having been on the seller end, I don't want to make this the seller's problem if I don't have to. So I'm really, really torn on what to do, but I'm pretty bummed about the situation. Gonna knit my other sock, and I guess I will just keep doing Stash Buster products, holy moly. Projects. I'll just keep doing Stash Buster projects until my yarn shows up, because I'm not gonna buy more expensive yarn for another pattern when I've already got some coming somewhere. So yeah. What other things have we been up to? Let's see. Books. Books and knitting and the cozy life go together. One book that I finished was The Kill Claws by Lisa Unger. Once again, have I mentioned that I butcher everybody's names? I'm sorry. And let's give a review on that. That one was all right. You know, I'd give it like 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I didn't hate it, but I really didn't love it. It was very mediocre, we'll say. We'll call it mediocre, but it was just a short story, so you didn't really have time in 70 pages to like get attached to any characters or really get to like make like a bond with people. Yeah, it was all right. The other 2 books that I'm reading, because I read 3 books at any one given time, and that is because one is an audiobook, so I'll listen to the audiobook while I'm doing things around the house, taking care of the plants, knitting, things of that nature, and then I will read a physical fiction book, so literally any sort of fiction book, as long as I have to actually read it and don't listen to it, because sometimes I zone out in books when they're audiobooks and I'm just listening to them. So I like to actually physically read books as well, but I only read like a chapter in those each day so that I don't feel like overwhelmed. Because sometimes if I look at like a 500-page book, I get like seriously overwhelmed, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much book. But if I'm just looking at a book by like a chapter a day, it doesn't feel as overwhelming. The fiction book that I'm physically reading right now is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. And this one is really weird. I think it's supposed to be like kind of like a satirical, like humor, rom-com, holiday romance type thing. And it's incredibly unrealistic, and it's 471 pages long, but I don't hate it. I think it's gonna get cute and quirky, but I'm not quite there yet. And then the last book that I'm reading right now is a nonfiction book, because I am currently doing this program called 75 Hard, and for that you have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day, which has kind of been a challenge for me because I normally don't read nonfiction, because anybody can just write a book, whether they are like actually knowledgeable in the field that they're writing on or not. And so I'm not very quick to just trust people when they're like, oh yeah, like I researched this topic for 10 minutes and then published a book on it. Or, you know, I don't know. I went through a really bad like health period, and so I was reading a bunch of like health books and on like nutrition or fasting or this or that, and just the amount of people that are not qualified to write about health. And who is at my front door? It is amazing. You can have a no soliciting sign and people will still come to solicit to you. Anyways, what I was saying was, dude, go away. Should I like open up the camera and just start talking to him? Be like, hi, go away. I don't know. The point is that nobody actually has to be qualified to write a nonfiction book. So I take a lot of nonfiction stuff with a grain of salt now, after having read lots of books and then trying to look up people's qualifications and being like, oh, you're not qualified to write a book about this at all. However, so I ended up picking just like a nonfiction story, If You Tell. So it's a true story about, I'm guessing, these girls that were raised with a really psychopathic mom, and I haven't gotten too far into it. It's kind of going into like the mom's like backstory right now, but it is a true story of murder, family secrets, and the unbreakable bond of sisterhood. And so far it is really good. I actually am enjoying it immensely. So that's more like the nonfiction that I like, but I have to read 10 pages of that every day, and that one is by Greg Olson. And I would recommend that. Out of all the books, out of the book that I finished, the book that I'm reading, and then this one, this is the one that I would absolutely recommend to somebody. But if you like little rom-coms, you probably will like How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And let's see. Anything else? Oh, me and my husband started watching this TV show, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am not a TV/movie person. I am more of a book, YouTube, or video game kind of person. So like if I have, you know, spare time or whatnot, and I want to put something on, I will usually play YouTube videos. I don't ever watch TV or movies. And if I really have like an evening to myself, I'll play video games. So I'm a gamer and then a reader and a YouTube fanatic. So I don't ever watch TV or movies. So if you say, have you seen? The answer is almost always. Almost always. Though, since my husband doesn't mind if I knit while we watch TV shows or movies, he's getting a few more TV shows and movies out of me. But we started watching this show called All Her Fault, recommended by my family, and it is on Peacock. And it is so good. And I don't say that lightly because I don't like TV and I don't like movies. But guys, it is so good. Please go watch it. You will thank me It's amazing. We're on episode 4. And the whole time we're just sitting there guessing, like, well, maybe it's this person, or maybe this person did this, or maybe there's the mystery of blah, 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 blah. And I won't spoil anything, and I won't say anything other than go watch it. And I think that's it. I think that's really all that's been going on in the last couple days worth talking about and bonding with people over. So if you have read any of those books, seen that TV show, or better yet, what do you call that game that you play at Christmas? Is it White Elephant or Dirty Santa? Please, I need to know what your name for it is and where you are from, because I'm starting to think that maybe Dirty Santa is just a Southern thing. So seriously, let me know. If you made it to the end of this, you're amazing. I love you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.